Hello. Today we'll talk about remote provisioning in Office 365. We will build the SharePoint add-in. We will use the SharePoint add-in to create some SharePoint artifacts in the host web. So let's open Visual Studio. Here I created just a native SharePoint app. So the remote provisioning, what we will do is we will use the remote event receivers. Here we will tell the app that we need to handle the app uninstalled and app uninstalled. Okay, so we go again and get the properties and we'll handle the uninstallation. So I'm not gonna update the code part, I will just explain the idea here. So the idea here is we will put some code in the app remote event receiver. This code will be creating the SharePoint artifacts when the application is installed, and when we remove the application, this could also remove our footprint. So even though if we just create this code and package it into a class library or something that we can use, it will be for every single SharePoint app we need to create this remote event receiver and maybe add a reference or maybe install a Nugget package into this project, which will inject our code. This is, I see here, it's like how many steps. You need to right click the SharePoint app and then go to the properties, enable the remote event receiver, and then by command line package manager you can just type some code and install this. I see there's too many steps, so what I think that it can be done is we build a Visual Studio add-in, which is I have here, which is called the remote provisioning project extension. So this extension actually consists of 3 projects. One of them is a web template. This web project template is actually an extension of the out-of-the-box template, which is here, which is generated for you when you actually create a remote event receiver. And basically it contains the same things, which is the let's say the SharePoint context, the token helper is the same, simple information, and the services, which is the app event receiver code. Okay, what we do here, we just added something what I call a provisioning sequence. This provisioning sequence in an XML file. Here it is. It consists of a series of, or a sequence of provisioning actions. These provisioning actions have a type. For example, here I'm going to create a list, and you can read the list definition from this XML file. I'm going to create another list. I will read the list information from this XML file as well, and I will create another list here. Here I'm going to copy some files, and then here I'm going to register a custom action. So without going into the details of these actions, we will see what these actions will do. But here we have a provision variable, which is a sequence processor, which is actually going through the items within the sequence XML file, and based on the remote provisioning type, it passes the item into the appropriate manager. So we have a manager for the lists, which creates the lists, a file manager, which just copies the file, and a custom action manager, which is actually creating the custom action. Okay, so if you look here, these are the XML files of the 3 lists we're going to create. This is the video channel list. Here we will have the title of the list and the URL and the base type. It's all custom, and this is the 3 field. And this is the style list. It's just a document library, which is base 101 here. And the last one, which is challenge image, is also a document library, which is base 101. It has no custom field, so it's pretty simple. And file copy, it's just going to copy files from the custom style folder, which is this folder, which contains some CSS and images and JavaScript, into the video channel list. Okay, and we have a custom action, which is basically the simple out-of-the-box custom action. It's a JavaScript link, which is going to inject this file, which is copied via a file copy action into the video channel style list, which is I created also in my provisioning sequence. So So this is just a template. So for the sake of, you know, being generic, this template should only have 3 empty folders, which is custom action, files, and lists. And this provisioning sequence should be empty as well. So the reason that I shipped the template with these things, just to give you an idea when you add this extension to your Visual Studio, it will generate something that you can test. Okay, so in order to test this extension, what I need to do is I need to run Visual Studio. It will open an experimental instance of Visual Studio here, and using this experimental instance, I'm going to create a new project. I'll select here a SharePoint app. Why I'm creating Visual Basic? Nobody uses Visual Basic. Anyways, so here I'm going to create app for SharePoint. I'll just test app 1, and I'm going to use my tenant, and it is SharePoint hosted, and then it will open and ask me for my credentials. Yeah. Okay. So now the app has been created. So here it's the same out of the box SharePoint hosted app. We'll just wait until the app is being created. So I don't know why it takes so much time. So let's go take a look at the code here, for example. So this is the template, and this is basically what we're going to create is a menu extension in Visual Studio. This menu extension, it will call enable remote provisioning. When I right click and click on it, right click on the project, which is the SharePoint project, it will only enable for the SharePoint project. It will here create a new project from the template, which is this template, dynamic provisioning event receiver template here, and it will take the same name, and it will have like a suffix which is web, which is basically the same what the out-of-the-box behavior of the remote event receiver does. And then it will do some modification. It will actually change the app settings of the SharePoint app, and it will link to a project. It will actually link to the project it just created, and it will update the manifest, the application manifest, to tell the app that it actually connected to a remote event receiver when the app is installed and uninstalled. And then here I will do some manual updates because it has no exposed properties, which is I will update I'll add the client ID here, and I'll also update the permissions to be like site collection full control. Of course, this is something hard-coded. It's just like if you forgot to add the appropriate permission, you might actually go to the app manifest file and change these permissions. So let's go back, and it's actually taking so much time. I don't know why. Let me just kill it. So I will just go back and kill this one. Okay, there is another way of doing that, is basically I'm going to rebuild. So I'll have this extension here. If I click on it, it will try to install it for Visual Studio 2013. Yes, I still use 2013. So if I open Visual Studio 2013, a new instance of Visual Studio here, I should have this installed. So I'm going to open a new project, apps for SharePoint. It's SharePoint app 2, and it's SharePoint hosted. Next, and it will ask me for my credentials. And there. I don't know why it looks like that. I can't see anything. this time, yeah. And then it's the SharePoint online, finish, and now we're creating the project, and it's created. So if I'm right clicking here, I have this new action, which is enable remote provisioning. When I click on enable remote provisioning, so in a similar way, I'm creating the remote event receiver, but using a different template now. Not the out-of-the-box template, I'm using the template that I've created, which contains the code that is responsible of creating the, or processing the provisioning sequences and creating the appropriate sequence based on that. So here, I have it here, and I have the custom style, custom actions, all the things that exist here in the remote provisioning template, the new event receiver template here, and I have everything here. Okay, so let me just go to my Azure. Okay, account, and what I will do is I have already a website that is I'm going to use to share. It's the correct password, yeah. So here I'm loading my Azure management portal. I'm going to the web applications, and I'm going to download the publishing profile. So here's the app. Let's see if the app manifest change anything. Yeah, here we have a full control, and if you go to the code, it has these two things. So the code that we actually take a look at, which is changing or adding these endpoints, is actually working now. So here is the web apps. I'm going to use the remote provisioning here. Okay, so I'm going to the dashboard, and I'm going to download the publish profile. So I got here the publish profile, so what I need to do is I'm going to the SharePoint app 2, and I'm going to click publish. I'm going to have a new profile. I'm going to browse for the profile I'm just downloaded here, and here I need a client ID and a client secret. So now I added client ID and everything. So what I need is I need to deploy my web app. I'm just gonna go back, and I'm just gonna remove any additional files there, and let's start preview. If you just created the Azure web app, you don't have to preview, just like making sure that this website doesn't contain anything I need. It actually does, but anyways, I'm going to publish it. So now what we will do is actually we are publishing this remote event receiver code into the Azure website, which is this website, this Azure website. Okay, and then what we will do is we will package, after we finish that, we will package the SharePoint app itself, and we will deploy it to the video portal. So let me now go to my video portal. So this is the out-of-the-box experience of the video portal. Just let's wait until it loads. So now it's loading. My internet is very slow. So here is the out-of-the-box video portal. What we'll do is we will try to update this channel listing page. So currently each channel will have the title of the channel and just the color. That's the listing experience of a channel, which is, I see it's very basic, let's say. Okay, let's go back and see. Publish succeeded. So what we will do is I need to package my app. I'll just add here an S. So we are packaging the app. This is the app now. So what I will do now, I'm going to upload this app into my app catalog. Yes, here's the app catalog. So I can add it into my video channel. So apps for SharePoint, I'm going to upload I already have a SharePoint app to here. and I'm just going to choose files, and I'm going to choose here the SharePoint app 2. So it will override this app basically. We'll have even a different product ID. Yep, have a different product ID here. So if I go to here, this is the video portal, view lists. Because why we went to this page? Because basically in this view I don't have the capability of go to site setting or site contents or even add an app. What I will do here is I'm going to click add an app, and here I'll have a SharePoint app 2. Let's wish it will work. Yeah, here it will tell you need to trust it and have a full control of the site collection, because it's going to create what we said here. Let's go back. This app will basically execute one provisioning sequence. This provisioning sequence is here. This provisioning sequence will create a list called channel images, and will create a list called style, and will create another list called a video channel list, and then it will copy some files to the style library, which is the library we just created, and it will register a custom link. So I'm going to say I'm trusting it. Let's wait for the app to be added. Let's wish it will be added successfully for the first time. Okay. Let's see. So at some point we should see, the content, which is basically here, as you can see, channel images is being created, video channel style being created, and that has been successfully created. So the app has been added successfully. Everything is cool. The video channel style contains the folder which is custom style that we copied from here. So here the file copy 1.xml, which is here. It says copy all from custom style to this library, and it's already copied. So let's go back to the video channel listing and let's refresh the page and see what happens. So basically the JavaScript file, which is the custom action, it changed the experience of the video channel list. Instead of having just the channel color and the name, now we have an image and a title and a description, because description is not actually something is added to when you create a channel. Although there is, if you check the video RESTful API, you will find there is a description field, but it's you can't possibly add it now using the out-of-the-box experience. So what we did is we just created a new metadata for the channel here. What we will need to make this happen, I just need the ID of the channel. So I'm going to open one of the channels. I will just somehow take the ID of the channel here, which is education. I just did. And then I'm going to add a new item to this channel metadata. I need somehow to couple this. This is used to be education. I'm just going to change the title to be education new, and the image, I'll just leave it as it is. This is a channel description test, and I'm going to save. Here I'm going to channels back, and I'm going to refresh, and basically education has a new title. So if I want to change this image, let's go to google.com and let's say education image search, and let's choose any of these. No, this is okay. Let's save this image as anything, just on the desktop here, saved. And what we need to do is I'm going back here to the contents, and then the channel images here. This is a list which is supposed to contain all of this. I'm going to use the drag and drop functionality of SharePoint. So I added the image. What I need to do is I need the URL of the image. Okay. Then I will go back a little bit and to the channel metadata. I'm going to edit here this item, either this or just gonna stop editing, go to the normal edit page. Less confusing, I think. Okay, this is the web. I'm gonna test it. Yeah, it works. So I'm gonna save this one. It might not look good because you might need to specify it in a specific dimension, as here. So instead of actually having the out-of-the-box look and feel, we actually have here a new customization for the channel listing page. So we said that when we install, we have this whole footprint along with us. So what happens if I want to remove this? So this is the part of like automation of the remote provisioning. So what I need to do is I need to go back here to site content. Okay. What I need to do is I need to go here and remove the app. If I'm removing the app will actually know what it's actually provisioned, and it will go and delete one by one. So it will delete the list items and it will unregister the script link, which is the JavaScript. And here everything is cleared. If you go back to the video channel list and refresh, it's the old out-of-the-box experience. So here, using this extension, if you want just to add some, let's say, an artifacts, which is some lists, copy some files, and register a JavaScript file somewhere, you don't need to write all of these code. What you need to do is to install this extension, right-click your project, and then go to these XML files and update the XML files, and that's it. What you need to do is actually writing some logic into your JavaScript like here. So basically it reduces your effort into a minimal, and you can reuse this over and over again. The good thing is the repository in GitHub, it's public repository. So far I'm the only contributor. I just wish that people can start adding more stuff to this, maybe supporting multiple other stuff apart from script link, file copy, and list creation, maybe other stuff as well. So it's just a start, and thank you for watching.